Let's talk a little bit about Francisco Lindor. Starting to hit the ball a little bit for the Mets. As I say that, he's still around 200. And that is, New York is not a place you want to struggle out of the gate after you've signed a big contract. I mean, it's been pretty brutal for Francisco Lindor.
It has. It's definitely been a transition. And as we know well in Cleveland, he had a subpar year last year, not to this level. The struggles were not to this level, but so you take a subpar year and then, a new place and a big contract, and it can snowball on you, and it has on him. There's no doubt. And you're right. He's getting his hits in recent days. He's still not hitting the ball with much authority, still not a lot of extra base prowess, which is what, when he was at his best paired with Jose Ramirez, and those guys were just such a dynamic duo in terms of the extra base productivity. We're just not seeing that from Francisco Lindor so far at the very early stage of this long Mets contract. But, and I'm not making a big deal about a slow start as a slow start, and what are you going to do? But this just speaks to that mindset of, if you're a small market team like Cleveland, you can't pay a guy 25% of your player payroll, one guy, because look what happens if he struggles. Think how terrible that would look, and the very people who wanted desperately for Cleveland to give this guy all the money in the world would be the same people ripping him to shreds right now, because your entire world would revolve around this guy's performance. It's just not healthy for anybody. It's not healthy for him or a ball club. You have to spread it around. And, the Mets are just in a better position to do that. But even they are not in a great position if Francisco Lindor continues to struggle the way he has. So I expect him to turn it around, but there's no doubt that moving to that ballpark, it is an adjustment. It's going to affect his offensive numbers for the bulk of his time there. It's just a different place to hit. And New York is just a different place in general. When you get off to a slow start, it can kind of become its own entity, the pressure of that.
Is there something real to that? Because you've seen it, and it resonates a little bit more with the Yankees, probably because they're in the American League and Indians fans follow them. There have been guys like Sonny Gray that went there and just couldn't seem to deal with the day in and day out scrutiny that you get when you're playing in New York, when you're playing baseball in New York.
Everything is just more. Francisco Lindor is an incredible personality. He really is. And you saw him deal with, there was a skirmish between him and his teammate, Jeff McNeil, and he did this incredible acting performance about, they were telling the media that they were arguing about whether it was a rat or a raccoon, under the ballpark there. And that's just him. That's his personality. He's fun. He's engaging. But, you don't get the requests in Cleveland that you get in New York. There's just more coming his way and has come his way from a marketing standpoint, from a media standpoint, just public relations standpoint, community stuff. It's just more. And that's something he's going to have to deal with. And I'm sure he knows that, and he's learning that along the way. And then you get into the back pages when you struggle the way he has this first month plus. It's just different there than here. Here, there's really no pressure to play in Cleveland. I'm sorry, there's just not. You deal with me, and you deal with a few other writers who are there on a daily basis. There's not much to it, really. We're pretty easygoing here. So, I believe that is a real thing. And some guys rise to that, and I think Francisco Lindor has all the tools to rise to that, but he's finding, like so many others have, that there's just more attention on you and there's more asked of you when you play in New York City. It's just the fact of the matter, whether it's the Yankees or the Mets. And then the Mets just have their own thing going on where, there's kind of a dark cloud over that franchise in general with bad luck, with injuries and whatnot. But, that's not his doing, but he'll have to deal with just kind of the Mets angst that comes with that.
With big contract in New York comes big expectations, and
responsibility. Yeah,
without question.